One man single-handedly changed humanity's perception of the ocean and the creatures in it. This is the epic history of marine biology, told by yours truly. Welcome to episode 1, The Founder. The story begins on the Mediterranean island of Lesbos during the 4th century, a time where the sea was dangerous, unknown, and a realm inhabited by both familiar creatures and terrifying divine monsters. Here, a Macedonian-born philosopher, fresh out of Plato's academy, embarked on a mission to systematically study and classify the natural world, including the strange creatures he would observe in tide pools and fish markets. This was no other than the man considered to be the founder of marine biology. His name was Aristotle. Now, Aristotle had his eyes set on the Power Lagoon, but like most marine habitats at the time, the lagoon was a challenge to access. So he allied himself with the local fishermen to gain access to this treasure trove of marine biodiversity hiding below the waves. And after navigating myths, legends, and old fishermen's tales, he became the first person in recorded history to systematically observe and classify marine organisms. In his work, History of Animals, he writes, "With regard to animals that live in water, some have blood and some are bloodless." This sounds simple to us, but this was groundbreaking at the time. We now know that organisms like sea stars get nutrients and oxygen by pumping seawater through their bodies, so they don't need blood. He continues, "The dolphin is not a fish, for it has a lung and breathes air." Now, the classification of mammal did not exist at the time. Carl Linnaeus coined that term 1,000 years later. But the important point is that Aristotle discovered that dolphins weren't fish, which was a misconception at the time, and sadly, still is today. We all know someone like that, don't we? Not all of his conclusions were correct, but what matters is how he arrived at them. He looked carefully, meticulously, and repeatedly. He described hundreds of Mediterranean species, including fish, cephalopods, crustaceans, echinoderms, often in great detail. His work would later be known as the early surviving scientific literature of marine biology. Not bad, Aristotle. Not bad at all. Now, for most of human history, the ocean had been a god, a road, a source of food, a boundary. Then Aristotle came along and made it something else entirely. An object of observation, a field of scientific study. And he knew that there were more species out there, out of reach, waiting to be discovered. And he knew no one yet had the ships, nor the instruments strong enough to find them. But a millennium later, a single voyage would set sail and do just that. In the next chapter of this story, we leave the shoreline and we follow the ship that proved the deep sea is anything but empty. Thank you for watching. A big thanks to the Marine Bioconservation Society for inspiring this video. One man single-handedly changed humanity's perception. One man single-handedly changed humanity's perception of the ocean. This is the epic story of... fuck.